Welcome back. As we head into daylight saving weekend, we'll lose an extra hour of sleep as we spring forward tomorrow. Research shows the bad news doesn't stop there. As our bodies adjust, the risk for heart attack and stroke goes up in the first 2 days following daylight savings.
Every year, millions of Americans go to bed on a Saturday night knowing one thing. When they wake up, the clocks will be different and they won't feel right. It's a ritual we all pretend is harmless. Just 1 hour, people say. It's not that serious. But according to new research, that single hour, that tiny adjustment, may be far more dangerous than anyone realized. Doctors have been warning us for years that daylight saving time disrupts sleep, raises stress, and spikes heart attack numbers the week it arrives. But now, a Stanford medicine study suggests the real danger isn't just those first few days, it's everything that comes after. In fact, according to scientists, the way we move our clocks twice a year may be quietly reshaping our health on a national level, increasing our risk of obesity, strokes, and early death. And here's the twist: both sides of the daylight saving debate have been arguing for years without solid evidence.
Depressing, but I tell you, the one person excited about this time change is our producer, because he gets to work a fewer hour overnight.
Right.
The rest of us will be struggling tomorrow morning. But there is a correlation between daylight saving time and heart attack and stroke.
Right. For the first 2 days after we move the clock forward, there's about a 20% increase in heart attacks. We know that heart attacks tend to occur, more likely to occur first thing in the morning when our system is sort of just trying to wake up and that sort of thing. And with morning coming an hour earlier, it's even more of an impact to the system. So on the Sunday and especially the Monday after daylight saving times, there's a slight increase, about a 20% increase in heart attacks.
Until now, for the first time, researchers modeled how these different clock policies affect our biology, county by county, from sunrise to sunset. And the results stunned even the experts. Because out of all the options America could choose, we picked the worst one. The study compared 3 different choices: permanent standard time, permanent daylight saving time, and the biannual back and forth system we live under now. And when scientists looked at how each option interacts with the human circadian rhythm, our body's built-in 24-hour clock, they found something astonishing. Both permanent standard time and permanent daylight saving time would be healthier for the country than flipping the clocks twice a year. But permanent standard time, that one would change everything. According to the data, if the US switched to permanent standard time, we could prevent nearly 300,000 strokes every year. Not in a decade, every single year. And that's not the only number that explodes off the page. The same switch would result in 2.6 million fewer people with obesity, 2,600,000 people, all from aligning our clocks with our biology. Permanent daylight saving time would still help, but only about 2/3 as effectively. And what's wild is that most Americans and even Congress spent years pushing for daylight saving time instead of standard time. In fact, a bill proposing permanent daylight time gets introduced almost every year, but the data is clear. If we want to protect our health, we're backing the wrong option. To understand why this matters, you have to look at what circadian rhythms actually do. They're not just about sleep. They regulate your immune system, your metabolism, your mood, your hormones, your energy, even your risk of chronic diseases like diabetes and heart failure. Most people think our circadian cycle is exactly 24 hours. It's not. It's usually a little longer, about 12 minutes longer on average. And light acts as the tuning fork that keeps it aligned. Morning light speeds up your internal clock. Evening light slows it down. So when we keep giving ourselves more evening light, which daylight saving time does for 7 months straight, we push our bodies into a constant state of jet lag. Not the dramatic kind where you're stumbling through an airport half awake, but a softer, slower version that chips away at us day after day. The Stanford team created a mathematical model that looked at light exposure, sunrise and sunset times, and circadian burden. How much strain your body goes through trying to sync with a 24-hour day. And the result was overwhelming. Permanent standard time is the healthiest for the greatest number of people. The further west you live in your time zone, or the later your natural chronotype, the more standard time protects you.
That's interesting. Is it just the Monday, this coming up Monday after that new time change kicks in, or is it all Mondays?
No, it's just that Monday.
Okay.
It's just that Monday where we see the impact. Interestingly, in the fall, there's 20% less heart attacks when we get a little bit more sleep. So I guess the take-home message is the vulnerable people are people that are going to be at highest risk. And if you are vulnerable, you might just sleep in a little bit on Monday.
That was my next question. Should you just sleep 1 hour later?
Wouldn't be a bad idea, especially if you're vulnerable. So people that are at higher risk are people that have had problems before, people that have had heart attacks, people that have had bypass or coronary stents placed, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So protect yourself. Maybe consider sleeping in an hour on Monday.
Oh,
Tuesday,
on Monday.
Tuesday's not much of a problem.
Yeah, you heard it from the doctor himself. You've got an excuse for work.
Doctor's
if
orders.
If you need it for sure.
There was one exception, a twist that surprised even the researchers. Morning people, those early bird types who wake up happily at 5 or 6 a.m., would actually do best under permanent daylight saving time because their internal clocks run slightly short. The extra evening light stretches their cycles closer to 24 hours. But morning people only make up about 15% of the population. For everyone else, the night owls, the 9 to 5 workers, the average American struggling through groggy mornings, Standard Time wins by a landslide. When the team linked circadian disruption to real health outcomes, things got even more serious. They pulled data from the CDC and compared 8 conditions: heart disease, diabetes, depression, cancer, COPD, arthritis, obesity, and stroke. Only the conditions tied to circadian health changed significantly, and the numbers were staggering. Permanent standard time, 2.6 million fewer cases of obesity, 300,000 fewer strokes. Permanent daylight saving time, 1.7 million fewer obese individuals, 220,000 fewer strokes. The current system, switching clocks twice a year, was the worst of all 3. That means whether you're in California, Texas, New York, or anywhere in between, the time policy chosen by Congress decades ago is deeply out of sync with human biology.
What about prevention just 24/7 year-round? Because obviously heart attacks and stroke are an issue all the time.
Right. We're very passionate about prevention at Seton, and we think that knowing your risk is probably the most important thing. We have a program where people can screen their hearts with Heart Healthy CT to get an idea of what their risk is. A really great idea for middle-aged people that especially believe that they do have some risk factors.
And that takes just calling and scheduling an appointment.
That's right, yeah.
For that. Well, good deal. Well, thank you so much. We are already out of time. We appreciate your time this morning, and you all heard it. Sleep in an hour later on Monday morning.
That's right.
I think we can do that. We can handle that.
That's right.
Thank you.
And while the numbers matter, the implications matter even more. A weaker circadian clock means weaker immunity, weaker metabolism, and ultimately a weaker body. The kind of weakness that doesn't show up overnight but grows quietly across years until it becomes disease. But don't mistake this study for a final verdict. Even the researchers admit that people's light habits in real life are far worse than the model assumes. The model imagines we get sunlight before work, sunlight after work, and predictable indoor lighting at night. In reality, many of us barely see the sun at all. We stay indoors, we stare at screens, we sleep late, wake up early, and overwork ourselves into a lifestyle that is biologically impossible to sustain. Most Americans spend less than 5% of their day outside, even in places like California, with sunshine basically on tap. People live most of their lives under artificial lighting, so the real-world circadian disruption may be far worse than the numbers suggest. The study also doesn't account for weather, individual behavior, or seasonal habits, which means the true scale of the problem remains partly hidden. But what it does give us is a starting point. For the first time, we have data that can shape the debate instead of everyone arguing based on vibes, nostalgia, or political convenience. The push for permanent daylight saving time has always come from business interests, malls, golf courses, companies that want consumers energized and outdoors in the evening. The push for standard time has come mostly from medical groups emphasizing health over convenience. And until now, neither side had hard evidence. Now they do. What this study reveals is that daylight saving time isn't just annoying. It's not just about losing an hour. It's about biology. It's about millions of people becoming sicker, heavier, and more vulnerable simply because the clock on the wall is lying to their bodies. Doctors have been warning about this for decades. Now the data finally backs them up. We can't change the seasons. We can't change the tilt of the earth. But we can choose a time policy that stops fighting our biology. Whether Congress listens, that's another story. If you want the next one rewritten in this same tone and length, just send me the title